and Bank. It was a 4-7-3-7.
Yeah, I guess the question is, what's changed from then to now? Because,
Same roster, right?
Yeah.
On both of those teams.
Maybe Mindfreak have gone back to the drawing board on that one specific map, and we'll see a different outcome if they go to another map. But I don't know, it seemed like the fundamentals really went there. It wasn't necessarily like a map-specific problem.
Yeah, well, if we see Cafe and Bank, maybe the story will change. Let's see where we end up with the map veto. Each team bans one map until we end up with just one left. Fury's going to ban Consulate. A smart move, I think, with how they performed on Consulate just now. And we're going to end up on Villa, which is not one of those maps that we saw in the best of 3 last time. I actually do have the stats. Last time it was Mindfreak who banned Villa in the best of 3 between these two teams. It was the second ban. So that's that gives me some confidence that maybe actually this could be a better map for Fury.
Well, on the maps that I've tracked, Fury haven't played Villa, and if they have, it must be pretty limited. I'm not sure what you've got there. Mindfreak have played it a little bit more, about 4 times in the last year, so that's with a 75% win rate, so that's not too bad for them. I don't know. I'm just excited to see some Villa. We haven't seen Villa this season in ANZ yet.
I actually love Villa.
It's a fun map.
And I love playing it. I love casting it. I know a lot of people maybe find it a more difficult map, but I really like it. I think it has quite a lot of variety. It's got a lot of different bomb sites, and even bomb sites like Living that we don't see very often are totally viable as well. So, you know, I'm really keen to see it. In terms of let's just quickly squiz at my stats for Mindfreak in particular. It's a decent map, but it's one of the most banned, is what I have. I have 75% win rates and 3 wins and 1 loss. I don't have as much for Fury though on that map. In fact, I don't have any.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Any stats for that yet.
I don't know, a bit of an unknown then, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's not bad. In fact, this was Mindfreak actually played this map way back in September in the Six Masters Grand Final at Melbourne Esports Open, and it was the decider map in the semi-final. And Mindfreak had actually done really, really well because they'd already beaten Wildcard on one of their good maps, Coastline 7-3, and then Villa was a 6-8, just barely lost it. So that's pretty good sign for Mindfreak. Let's toss up the poll, see what you guys reckon about this game.
64% in favour of Mindfreak.
Is that higher for Fury than it was before? I think it was.
Slightly. And
yeah.
I think slightly lower on the draw.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
No, I'll take that. Yeah, the numbers say that Mindfreak, maybe this is a good map for them. But that said, they banned it quite a lot, so maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe Mindfreak weren't quite confident on it. If I recall correctly, Mindfreak actually played this against Homeless and just beat them 8-6 at that same event, the Six Masters. Yeah. Another very close game. And I think part of the big reason why they won that was Kings, who's gone now. So maybe the big roster shake-up. Villa can be quite a hard map to learn with the new roster, so that might affect things. And Fury, we know it's a blank slate.
Yeah, I mean, they're forging new ground as we speak by playing this map, so it's going to be interesting, I guess, to see how they approach it. You touched on Villa before, I guess, being like a slightly more unpopular map, if you would, but maybe that's because it's been quite historically defender-sided, but, you know, times are changing. Definitely,
and as we move into our final match of the night, Villa is where we see our battlefield for Mindfreak and Fury. Let's get it going.
Let's head straight in. Let's see who's on attack first. It'll be Mindfreak. Once again, they attacked first on the last map, being Consulate. They actually went up 4-2 in that half, so good start for them. Villa, though, as I mentioned, slightly more defender-sided, up around the 60% mark post-Ember Rise. Probably not the best start that you want, but funnily enough, you're actually more likely to win starting on the attack than you are on the defense.
I feel like that's something that people don't realize sometimes, is that if you actually start on the unfavored side, you can kind of throw away rounds and it's not as bad. Whereas if you lose at the start, you're taking some time to warm up and you're on your favored side, that can really make things difficult.
Also, a fair chance we could even see a draw. I mean, it's up around 36%. I think it may well be the highest of all the maps. At least it's really quite up there. Either way, Jackal and Maverick, the 2 attacking bans off the board.
So the 2 times where I've got recently, well, not quite recently, but back at Six Masters when Mindfreak played this map twice, they banned Buck and Pulse both times, which aren't such common bans, right? And Mindfreak are a team that actually like to go for those uncommon bans. They like to ban Buck a lot, not just on maps like Coastline where it's more common to ban it, but all kinds of other maps and Pulse as well. So it's interesting to me that they're going for a bit more default operator bans with the Maverick and the Mirror. To touch on the Maverick, I think one of the best times I've ever seen Maverick used on this map in particular was Airwolf against Norengo and Fnatic, both actually, at the APAC finals this past season. Being able to open up in particular that wall from study into the pool room, the pool table room? Games room, that's it. Games room, and expose positions on the bar. Airwolf did that really well, so I like Mindfreak getting rid of that. And yeah, no Maestro, no Mira, so...
Is Jack Daddy AFK again?
That's Captain Jack, thank you very much.
That was an auto pick onto Blitz, wasn't it? Surely. I think it was. And he's going to 6-pick him. I mean...
Is he going to 6-pick the last... Okay, he's got Puck. All right.
Well, actually, can we talk about Blitz for a second? Because Blitz is not getting any love whatsoever. No. Like, in matchmaking, in comp, you just don't see Blitz anymore after that nerf. Maybe we need to see a buff. People are going to hate me for saying that, but Blitz was Blitz that bad before the nerf? I mean, sure, Blitz could run in and the ADS was quite quick. Maybe they need to sort of find a middle ground there. I don't know. Yeah,
I think it's just that at a competitive level, people really, you need automatic weapons are just so powerful, and weapons you can aim down sights at long range with scopes and one-time sights, so powerful, and shields don't have that. In comp play, Monty has its purpose, but Blitz doesn't quite as much have a fit. So I agree with you, it wasn't so much a problem in comp, but for the everyday Joe out there, Blitz can be quite a frustrating, could have previously, when it had the extra aim down sights and the faster movement speed and all that. It was a bit more powerful against less coordinated teams, because that's how Blitz specializes. Close quarters 1v1, Blitz is really good. And if you can dictate long range gunfights, or if you can have multiple people, like you can in a comp, really are more organized, then the Blitz is not quite as powerful.
Shields aside, Mindfreak are attacking, of course. AVG for them is the target. That's short for Aviator in games, for anyone might be watching comp for the first time.
I think it was it Kix or Intero that coined that term?
Not sure. Iffy Styles almost, he just almost coined himself a kill there. Unlucky.
Yeah, that's, I think, Muesli or Shade on the roam there. He'll run back downstairs. Nice and evasive. That's Shade on the Jaeger. Joker's droning ahead for his teammates, and a strong entry from Ippy and Jack Dad. A lot of barricades being destroyed, a strategy which can be hugely underrated. Putting up barricades waste time and give you some audio cue when people are pushing a certain direction. And now I believe, this is an aggressive play. No, the defender coming up from the red stairs goes all the way back into the site, and Jack Daddy wasn't ready to cut that off.
Fury just holding tight for the meantime as Mindfreak slowly gather more and more control of the northern side of the map. Mangoes, though, he's going to squeeze him from the other side of the map, playing Cabana, rocking the beautiful Norengo skin there. He's going to use the X-Kairos at long range to generate some angles in towards the objective as the rest of his team continues to push up. Mindfreak are making good ground so far, and Cutie gets us off to a nice start. That's Rock off the board, and Fury now are a man down.
Good first step, and Mindfreak prepare to take control of this bomb site. Peeking on inside, destroying the bulletproof camera. This Jack Dad, I think he got it. There's also been lots of angles opened up. Air jab detonates, but Muesli gets back on his feet without too much struggle. There has been an angle opened up by Mangoes from the balcony into the site, and Shade takes out one. I think Cutie was at the front looking for that entry under sight. He gets taken down from below. I think Cutie, rather Joker now going for this plant. Kills are coming out, the heat's turning up. Fury have 3 players, and now they have to retake.
Gordon pushing from study. Needs to try and find one. He sees one. Shotter peeks it and then gets taken out. Joker somehow winning that gunfight. Shade is a long way away from sight. Not sure where Golden is at the moment. Probably waiting for Shade to help him out. Looks like he's over towards the classical hall, and he is. He's going to make his way over towards Games, but they're watching that angle. He's going to try and enter. Multiple angles will shut him down, and now Shade all the way from the other side of the map needs to retake. The defuse is almost 2/3 of the way down. He shoots the air jab and shoots Jack Daddy as well, so that's one for him and his double overall. Shade now needs to counter defuse. He fakes it out. He gets one onto Joker, but the time is running so thin. Ippy Styles just needs to waste a second more. He does, and Shade now will surely be taken out. There we go. Ippy Styles will finish it off.
Good round for Mindfreak there from start to finish. They found that entry pick, and I'm not exactly sure where the Jaeger got that kill onto the Nomad. Maybe it was on the red stairs, but Fury didn't really have an adequate answer there at all. Mindfreak took control, the map control that they needed. They didn't hunt down any extra roamers. They just watched their flanks. Nomad's on the board. It was banned out last game. This time, Mindfreak will use it and abuse it. Mindfreak also, I really like what they did with Mangoes playing outside of the study balcony. Opened up angles from study into the aviator bomb site. That way he could also look all the way into Vault as well, help cut off from outside.
AVG will be reattempted by Fury.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Going to bring a lineup quite similar to the previous round. Jaeger not on the board on this occasion. Rock playing Alibi. I don't think we've seen... Have we seen any Alibi yet this season?
I don't think so.
Alibi's a fun operator.
Not names anyhow. Alibi's great, yeah. I saw some on the weekend. I can't remember which team was running the Alibi. She's, not only does she have a good secondary gadget with the shield, which I believe Rock has just deployed actually. That shield works great with the Alibi devices. You can place one behind it. It's protected, can't be shot. Well, the base of the device can't be shot. Alibi devices are great for delaying time and getting a little bit of information on your attackers, denying lines of sight, and denying favorable gunfights from the attackers. The attackers want to contest an angle, and there's an Alibi device there. They have to think twice about shooting it, because there is a cost. If they shoot that Alibi device, they get pinged out, and that makes them vulnerable.
Top of that, the MX4 Storm, if you would, is also really powerful. Warden drops Ippy Style. I'm not quite sure what that was, but either way, IQ's off the board. Warden answering back to what was pretty disappointing round number 1. Fury now have a clear advantage. And Villa is a really hard map when you are at that man disadvantage because of how hectic those late rounds are. And the fact that many of the sites really do are funnel points for the most part. So the more men that you have to send into those sort of choke points, the higher chance of a success you do have.
And especially losing that IQ with both the Mozzie and the Valkyrie on the board makes things a bit more difficult for Mindfreak. It's likely Fury will have the advantage of information the whole game, and this C4 might work out. It does! That's thanks to a Valkyrie camera from Shade. Joker goes down. No more Thatcher EMPs. Muesli's still up to put Bandit batteries down. This is going to get very difficult for Mindfreak.
Not looking great for them so far. Vault will get reinforced eventually, so I believe there was a rotate through there if you wanted to hold 90. But Fury will now completely shut down that angle. Mindfreak do have a hard breach on the board. Habana still available and could be used later. That's Mangoes, but instead he's going to rotate over towards a similar position to the previous round. Over on that study balcony, Warden watching the drone hole. Oh my goodness, I don't think he did any damage there to Jack Daddy, I believe it was. He pushed past, and Jack Daddy has heard that and will now nade that location. He can't throw it deep enough, and Warden is still on full HP. Either way, he's on dock, so if you don't kill him, he's going to res himself, or at least buff himself back up. It's all on Mindfreak now to try and get this wall open and get some picks.
Jack Daddy pushing from this north side, looking for gunfights at the moment. It's what Mindfreak need. Fury likely have all the information. There's a bit more information tonight with that bulletproof taken out. Good job from Jack Dad. Mangoes is feeling the heat though with the Alibi. Takes a few pot shots his way, but then doesn't continue to contest. Warden just tangling with Jack Dad, but Jack seems to win that gunfight. Meanwhile, Rock does eventually find Mangoes. Muesli does help out Warden. It looks like he doesn't need it. Cutie will watch one flanking player, but he's got a mountain to climb. 4 more players to kill. Time to work with, but this isn't likely to work.
Cutie trying to salvage the round. He's going to push in through. Fury have many locations that they can hold this doorway, but none of them being watched just yet. Cutie enters and gets one onto Muesli. He's getting fired through the wall, and now he's brought down to 50 HP, even more so. He's down to 25. He pushes all the way behind the bar, and he will finally be silenced. That's Warden on the dock, and Fury will bring it one back.
I really want to say that you've got to thank Warden for spawn peeking Ippy Style and how much of an impact that had in the round, because not only is that just one kill, right, it's a good player, Ippy Style's pretty good, but that was the IQ taken out with Valkyrie and Mozzie still in and giving so much information. And that Valkyrie is the sole reason why Fury then got their second pick. It was Shade. He had a really nice Valkyrie camera in Statuary upstairs. Having that there meant that he could find the position of, I believe it was Joker, get that C4 through the floor, take him out, and then you're in a 5 versus 3. From there, not only did Mindfreak have a lot less utility, no Thatcher, no IQ, a lot less bodies in a 3 versus 5, but the information that Fury had was still there. They still had those Valkyrie cameras, those Mozzie pests. Now Fury's going to double down on that, bring the Echo as well, which means that Ippy's style, not just as a fragger, but as a support player, using his utility is becoming oh so more essential.
Change of sights now. Trophy and statuary. Statuary, not statuary. Someone told me off in chat for calling it.
Really?
That once, yeah.
Well,
my bad.
What's wrong with saying statuary? Statuary?
Extra syllable. Shouldn't be that.
Shouldn't it? I mean,
10 seconds left.
because there's 2 vowels there, right? And us Australians, we love our diphthongs there, where we have like vowel sounds with like 2 different distinct sounds. I don't know.
Got to please the people.
Yeah, well, you could please the people, or you could consult a linguist, or you could just, I don't know, do your thing.
Ippy Styles, we saw him get spawn peeked in the previous round. Seems to have escaped that demon for round number 3.
Is he going to go below?
Potentially. I mean, he has the IQ scanner. He'll be able to get any gadgets off the wall. Muesli on the bandit. He'll probably be trying to get the main wall, and if he can deny that from below, that'll be pretty impactful.
It's also great to, using the IQ scanner, get rid of Echo drones from below, but Warden finds his first pick of the round. 2 rounds in a row, he's found the opening. It's Cutie goes down this time, and that's a huge pick. On this bomb site, Nomad is hugely impactful. You can prevent any kinds of flanks back into Master or into Bathroom, and I don't think Cutie actually used those. He was taken down nice and early.
Just a minute gone now. Shade. That's a massive flank coming from Pantry, and this could take Ippy Styles. He's distracted looking above with his scanner, and he's going to get an easy kill there. Shade drops him off the board. It's a 3-on-5. And once again, early in the round, Mindfreak have a 2-round disadvantage, a 2-man disadvantage, but Jack Daddy starts to even it out. The nade will potentially come out. Muesli could be taken out here off the wall. No, he will escape. Mango is still trying to get that wall.
And Muesli can still trick this. All of the banner batches are still there. I think maybe the middle one's gone. Jack Daddy's going to try and look for them. Yeah, that middle one's gone, I think. Thatcher grenade, that'll help. Makes it nice and easy.
Going live.
He's going to make one low hole. He does have another set of X-Kyros still in the pocket he can use later. But this astronomy room here, very difficult to take control of for the attack. It's such a strong position behind that desk for defenders to play. And on top of that, it's Rock who has an ACOG. And he's supported by Muesli downstairs. Rock finds that kill onto Mangoes. Takes him very low, though. Hopefully we'll see Warden heal him up. Likely to happen in a second. There you go. There's one. Likely to give him a second, maybe a third. Warden's not that generous.
2-on-4. Jack Daddy makes his way across from landing, trying to find a pick to make things a little bit easier for Joker to enter, but it's going to be such a tall order. So many angles that you are exposed to when you walk out of that bedroom door. Things not looking great. Jack Daddy gets a camera.
And the Echo drone as well. There was an Echo drone that had been EMP'd on the ground, so a lot of information denied.
Joker uses that opportunity to make some slow progression, but Golden shuts down Jack Daddy from below, and Joker's left in a 1-on-4. He gets one onto Golden, but he gets shot by the cross. Fury take round 3.
Things are starting to look a little bit better. Mindfreak falling on their attacks, and well, Consulate looked pretty good for them, 7-2, but Fury seemed to have come back in a big way. We've said Villa is a bit of a question mark for Fury. We didn't know as much as we did on Consulate, and we didn't know quite as much as we did for Mindfreak on Villa. Although that said, you know, Mindfreak have made those roster changes. It's been a long time since those maps that we were talking about, and this has been the most banned map, tied most banned map for Mindfreak for quite some time. Let me have a look alongside. Yeah, it's this and Cafe. Though they have a much better win rate from the games that I have on this map than they do on Cafe. But Fury coming out in a big way. It's only 3 rounds in, and of course Fury are on the defense, but
Defenders
there's it's a good start. Get their confidence back.
Fury have been getting early picks in the last 2 rounds, which have really sort of cemented their position in winning the round. And Villa is probably the worst map to lose men early. It's so challenging with so many angles that you're exposed to as you try and enter towards these sites. So hopefully Mindfreak can sort of correct their wrongdoings in the early stages of round number 4.
So hard because they're like, for example, Epistyle going in downstairs. He's trying to take out this utility, but no one's covering him. There's no one even sitting on a drone for him. And
5 seconds to insertion.
Fury, they're a team that likes to play loose. They like to have people who just walk around the map on defense. And if they have information given to them, whether that's a Valkyrie camera or whether it's even just a sound cue, Fury are going to go and make those moves. Mindfreak need to make sure they could take advantage of that. They could drone out these players from Fury, or they could trap them or trick them by pre-placing a drone, making Fury think that they have the element of surprise, and then cutting off that rotation and killing that roamer. But no, Mindfreak haven't adapted to that playstyle just yet.
Mindfreak using the early stages of this round to drain things out, try and establish how they're going to approach the site. I believe that was Rock maybe below there. Joker's drone was taken out. Mindfreak trying to play this methodical. I think they're really trying to avoid being picked off early. We know how impactful that's been in the previous rounds. Shade, though, he's eager for that early pick. Playing over towards the landing. Here's the window get broken.
He got
being droned out to his right, though. He doesn't quite see it. The ping is there, potentially. Shade doesn't get taken out, though. The pre-fire opportunity was there, and Muesli's now come over to assist.
That's one drone down as well without any real progress for Mindfreak. The more drones that Fury destroy, the harder this is going to get for Mindfreak, especially because that Vigil's still alive too. Not so much anymore. Epistyle takes him down, really stepping up. He's actually switched over to the G8, that LMG. And Muesli goes down. One of the good fraggers for Fury, but we know all these guys can step up. And they need to fill those shoes.
Just trying to work out exactly how Mindfreak are looking to approach this site. Epistyle once again is the first death for Mindfreak. It's disappointing because we know how such of a strong fragger he can be in the latter stages of the round. Mindfreak now need to try and progress without him. They have just over a minute to do so. More soft breach is being used above here by Joker. He has breaching charges in hand and trying to flush out any members. It cheats. He almost sees one. He does actually, and he goes for the shot now behind. The Valkyrie tries to run away, but Golden will scathe away with about 75.
Oh no, and he got off the angle, and so Golden was allowed to get out again. Joker worried because he's low on HP, but Mango's downstairs.
Oh.
Just find one rock for the double C4.
That's massive, and now Cutie and Mangoes are left once again at the disadvantage. It's a 2-on-3, 30 seconds left. Mangoes has made decent progression towards the site. Cutie needs to cover as Shade is once again going on the flank. Rock shuts down Mangoes. Cutie will get Rock though in response, but he will be shut down as well, and Fury will take 3 rounds straight.
It's looking grim for Mindfreak here. They did get that very first round of the map, but we'll need to see them rack up a few more attacks if they want to get into this. And it's not just that they're losing these rounds, it's how they're losing these rounds. It's not looking great.
Styles, as I said, it's disappointing. We know that he's a strong individual fragger, but almost every round he has been shut down early, and the rest of his team has just looked disjointed. I'm not sure if that's because Styles isn't in the map to have more presence. It's difficult to say, but Fury have, to their credit, just completely capitalized that on every opportunity, and Mindfreak haven't had an answer yet.
And Warden's on 2 opening kills so far for no deaths. Epistyle is he's 1-1 because he died first for his team that round, but he actually got the opening kill when he took out Muesli. So, but I completely agree with you. I think that part of the problem is that on this map in particular, and the way that Fury play, there's a lot of information gathering. Not so much on this round. They've actually don't have an Echo or a Valkyrie, but every other round they're really running those and using that information so well. And Epistyle, the IQ player, whoever the IQ player is, needs to be really on top of that. I wonder whether the very first round Mindfreak won when they're attacking. I think it was Aviator Games. And Ippy was up for that whole round. I've got to say, I think he was taking out those Valkyrie cameras, and that was really denying these players from Fury. Because Fury are a team that want to make plays. They're constantly looking at this game, thinking, how can I make a play here? If they have information, not only do they see those opportunities, but they take them.
That's what makes them so dangerous. The moment you get a little bit complacent or a little bit distracted elsewhere, Fury are going to step on that accelerator and really make you pay for it. I mean, let's flash back to last season. And Nixian, known as Oddity at the time, they lost their spot at the APAC finals. And you could argue that maybe they went into that thinking, Fury's probably not going to be the hardest matchup. And then Fury came out of the gate full of confidence, not with much to lose. I mean, they did have the risk of being relegated, but they played like we hadn't really seen them that season. And maybe we're seeing a new Fury here for map number 2 of season 11.
Fury do seem to be somewhat map dependent because Consulate was not their map. Well, I mean, it literally was their map. Like there is no, this isn't a best of 3. You know, you don't have teams picking each map. It was just a best of 1 where everyone voted 3 times to get rid of maps. But Fury definitely didn't look so good on Consulate. So Villa seems to be doing a lot better. That said, they're on the defense. Haven't seen a lot yet. Ippy looking for this entry. He does actually get Muesli. I thought for a minute he'd miss that kill, but no. The Bandit punished. And now Mindfreak have actually made really good progress. Ippy is going to whip out that scanner and look for any utility.
Definitely a good start, but Shade once again on the flank will drop Joker. Shade has just been running around this map without a care in the world, and he'll find himself another pick. That's the diffuser down, over towards red stairs. So I'm expecting Mindfreak will now be forced for a landing push. They have just over a minute to reconsolidate as Ippy will get a double. So showing up big this round. Shade as well as off-site, so effectively on site it could potentially end up being a 4-on-2. Shade using that highway down below, the very bottom of this map. No sights there, but plenty of opportunities for the defenders to flank.
Shade's going to do just that, moving up the red stairs. Ippy was here just moments ago until he moved up. I don't think there's a Claymore on the red carpet there. That could have put a stop to Shade, but no. In fact, there's no flank watch utility other than Cutie, and I don't know whether he put a Nomad charge watching this. Shade may get his second kill in this exact same position, but no, he does fire off a bullet. I think that was to take out a drone. Cutie will be aware, and Shade will have to look elsewhere to flank.
Mindfreak now reaching the pivotal stage of this push, and also the hardest. They're forced into the site, and just like many of them, they need to try and be mindful of these angles. Ippy though finds his way in, and he attempts the plant. Jack Daddy is there to cover, but he has a lot of angles to watch. Rock will shut him down from study. Mangoes gets rocked though, and it's a 2-on-2. The diffuser is down. 5 seconds for Mindfreak to recover it and reattempt. Cutie will try that, but I believe he was shut down from below by Shade, and it was! Shade going up massive there in round number 5, and once again, Mindfreak just do not have an answer.
The 2 things that I really noticed there helped Fury in the later half of that round was one, Rock. He denied the plant. That was so essential. At first, I thought that was from below, but it was from Study, right?
Yep.
And he immediately got traded by Mangoes. Mangoes out on Study balcony. It's his job to control Study, and also, since he's opened up angles into the bomb site, it's his job to help a little bit in the bomb as well, in the site as well, get a bit of crossfire. But those angles that he'd opened with his Abana pellets actually allowed Rock to go and kill the planter without being exposed. Or if he was exposed, he clearly wasn't exposed for long enough for Mangoes to get that kill until after Rock had already denied the plant. That was so essential because if that plant had been allowed to go down without Rock interfering, I don't think Shade below would have gotten there in time to deny it.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Mindfreak just having so many issues in controlling these roamers, and no better example than that of Shade. He has been running around this map, causing so many headaches for these attackers. Mindfreak only have the 1 flank watch on the board. Jackal as well has been taken out, so Fury definitely playing into that strength. As we have seen some limited Jackal play here in ANZ. Probably would be helpful, I would say, at the moment against Shade, but as I mentioned, he's banned.
Yeah. Look, since we've been harping on about roam game, we've also been throwing it to the Shade, no pun intended, Ippy Styles way. I feel like I want to credit Ippy Style. He actually got the opening pick that round onto one of the roamers. Oh, actually, no, it was actually a player who was playing aggressive, going back to site. And then he got another pick onto a roamer as well. And then he was watching flank for Cutie. So I want to credit Ippy Style and Mindfreak as a whole. They have done some to help chasing his roamers, but they're not actually chasing them down. They're just kind of cutting them off. And Shade has had perfect timing for his flanks. He's not over-aggressing early when it's not going to be as impactful. I've really liked that from him. Last round of defense, though, for Fury, so this will be big if they can go up 5-1 in the half. Even if Mindfreak can even this up or get this round here, 2-4, won't be actually too bad going into the next half if they can have confidence on their defenses.
Ippy Styles on entry, once again, trying to find an early pick. He got a 2K, I believe, in the previous round and set up his team relatively nicely before it all fell apart at the end. So hopefully he can replicate that. Mango's, meanwhile, has found himself quite low. Not exactly sure how that occurred, but he's going to have to be mindful of that. He is their one and only hard breach. So if he makes his way over towards bedroom and gets taken out, that tag will probably no longer be viable for Mindfreak. And we saw when they attacked this site previously that the wall didn't really get fully opened and the entry was tough. So hopefully they're able to get it going on this occasion.
Some interesting holes below as well. For example, Muesli there, just near the bomb, looks down into dining, and we saw how Mindfreak last round attacking this bomb site did go below. It was Ippy style. Shade's roaming downstairs once again. Mango's taking quite a bit of damage on the balcony there. But it looks like Mindfreak have actually completely changed up their push. Instead of going for a below push and looking into Master as well, they're sending Mango's solo onto Master balcony. Just like they do when they're attacking Aviator, they send Mango's solo onto the other side of the map near the site to open up angles into the bomb site. And then they send the rest of the team from the other direction. Mango's job is just to pressure the bomb site and cut off some key positions.
A minute to go now, and Shade will do Shade things and head down to the Roma Highway down below.
I love that. Pick. I've never heard that.
I got it from Kickstarter.
Really? Oh,
he said
damn
it
it.
on stream. I wish it was original. I really liked it. But it's true. It's a part of the map that doesn't have any objectives, and it's literally just there for Romas to run around. Either way, though, Golden, he's on site, playing the Mozzie. He has a C4 in hand, which could be critical. He can lob that over and deny the plant later.
I think Fury are they're expecting this Master push. Ippy Style finds the opening onto Rock. And another one for Mindfreak. This could be their opportunity.
Joker attempts to plant once, but fakes it out. Muesli with a clutch smoke will slow it down, leaving Mindfreak now just 20 seconds for the entry. Ippy Styles leads things up, but Muesli's up close and gets one. Golden also got one, and just like that, it's a 3-on-2. Joker will re-attempt to plant that C4. I mentioned comes in clutch. Golden gets his double, and now Mindfreak have 8 seconds to get the plant down again. Golden will get his second, and Warden got the last, and there we go. Fury take 5 rounds straight.
That's not meant to happen, guys. How do we see Mindfreak do everything right? Get the first 2 opening picks, start forcing down the diffuser. Everything's looking good for them, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, that C4 crashed the party for Fury.
I'm just happy I caught it.
Yeah, you did. No, it was great. It was like
I was just waiting for like the like straight over the little gap.
We just need some sound effects added into there, you know, like the cartoonist, like whoop. But I mean, it was really nice because you talked about it earlier and then it came into play.
Like I can read the future.
Yeah, that's nice.
Still don't know who's going to win this match though.
Oh,
surely Fury.
You'd think
you
so,
would think
right?
So. I don't think you'd. Yeah, it's a pretty educated guess.
Reverse sweep would. I can totally see Mindfreak taking 2-3 rounds on their defense.
I mean, I still think the draw is still a decent chance.
Yeah.
I mean, Villa does have a very high draw percentage, and we know that it's heavily defender-sided. So
Attackers need to
would rule it
locate
out.
and defuse bombs.
Yeah. Fury team, I think, with this confidence that they've gotten from their defense working so well, especially that last round, because they shouldn't have won that, and then they turned around and capitalized it, you know, turn that into a W, that I think really helps going into your attacks, because sometimes on your entries, the special ingredient, that secret ingredient on top of mechanical skill and game knowledge and callouts, that sometimes that little special bit of spice on top is confidence. That makes a difference in your entries. Let's have a look at these Goyo strats, though.
That's interesting. So it looks like they're placing one shield to cover each of the default planes potentially. We sometimes see the plane go behind B if that pop plane is destroyed. And of course, the one behind the vault door is quite exciting. On top of that, it also will slow down the defenders when rushing in, and they'll either be forced to run between the shields or jump over them, which neither of those are ideal. That's an early C4 being ripped.
I think it was a pre-place. Where was that? Not sure.
It was below.
Thanks. I'm not sure whether that was paired with a Goyo shield. Because you know, Goyo has a lot of explosives as the secondary gadgets. It's C4 or impacts, because that perfectly complements his Goyo shields. Anyway, we'll see Shade doing what we talked about a lot earlier, which is locating electronic gadgets and those Valkyrie cameras, which was so good for Fury in the first half. Mindfreak is bringing the Valkyrie, it's Mangoes, but none so far. Shade's just looking for defaults. He's checked that spot where he kept putting the camera, and he does find a leisure mine, I think, as well. And there's that first Valkyrie camera.
Shade is spotting a lot at the moment. Not sure. What's that he's trying to shoot? Is it?
I would say it's a Mozzie pest, except there's no Mozzie. I don't know.
Maybe a
Goo mine.
Yeah, I don't know what else it could be.
There's one Valk cam, two Valk cam. This is how you do it. Perfect. Another Goo mine. What was that? Another Goo mine?
You're gonna have a lot of points.
Yeah, you get so many points doing that. Is that actually a Mindfreak player all the way near Astro on the north side of the map, preparing for a flank? We'll have to keep an eye on him for later in the round, but first up, Mangoes does find a C-field kill onto Rock.
Ippy Styles was on the flank. He triggered an air jab though, so he might run back to site knowing that his position could have been heard by these Fury members. No, he's actually going to hold this position and wait for the time to pounce. Could be soon. Golden is in a position to hold that flank though. He's made his way over. Possibly heard that air jab go off, and if Ippy Styles peeks this, he's probably going to lose it. Golden falls off at the perfect moment for Ippy Styles to capitalize. Cutie, meanwhile, gets Shade, as Golden is potentially going to be flanked now while he's on this drone. This is not very good for him. Warden, though, he gets excited. He gets Joker off the board, and it's a 4-3. Ippy Styles still on this flank. There's a player right there in front of him, and he gets the kill easy as that, leaving it in a 3-on-2.
EMP incoming.
Fury on the back foot now, 2 versus 3, and this push is going exclusively from the south side. That's Ippy Style getting air jab for the second time this round. Muesli will know about it. Great job there to get that kill, but he's the last one alive, and he'll get finished off. Jack Dad, Captain Jack, I should say. Get that round for Mindfreak, and they're up 2 now. It's not too bad.
Trying to crawl their way back. Successful defense is a great way to get things going. That attack there from Fury really echoed, I think, some of the issues that Mindfreak had. Fury established decent control early, but then they were compromised by a flank from a Jaeger. That was Shade previously, this time Ippy Style. And then the entry was just non-existent. Yeah. Again, I think it's just a teething issue, I think, with Villa. It's so hard to enter in towards the side, and I've said it multiple times. It's just, there's a lot of angles and a lot of places where these defenders can sit. And unless you flush them out or unless they overpeak you, it can be hard to sort of get them out of there. We
did see one good kill near the start. I think it was pushing up Classical Hallway. It was the Thatcher. I can't remember. Maybe it was Warden. I think he took down Joker.
Yeah.
That was a really nice opening and started to get the control. But the problem was Fury couldn't dedicate all of their players to the entries because that air jab detonated, as you said, on Astro stairs. And then they rotated Golden just exclusively to watching that. Now imagine if Fury had pre-placed a drone inside of Astro. One, that Nomad charge, because there was already a player dead for Fury, I'm pretty sure. Rock was already down, so he could just sit on that drone and wait until that Jaeger pushed up and then called it. And then said whether he goes through Trophy or Statuary or Bathroom, and then Fury could just wait for the perfect moment to watch that. Instead of dedicating Golden and either doing all or nothing, watching the angle ready to take the fight, or not watching it, not having any info, just one drone would have made all the difference there and allowed Fury to dedicate more players to the main push.
This, of course, will be the first time that we see Mindfreak defend a Trophy, as it's only their second round in the half. Fury, meanwhile, are going to try and approach from the south side.
Very
try
fast.
and take map control. They will be up against it, though. The whole wall here on Study has actually been reinforced, so Mindfreak dedicating a lot of utility over towards this side of the map and trying to waste Fury's time. The wall will start to get open, though, with those X-Kairos. It's a nice little angle that Shade could utilize and shoot someone in the back of the head, but no! There is a wall there, and it will cover his position for the meantime.
There's another player nearby, I think. It's the Jaeger inside of Vault, gets spotted out. Warden looked very keen on this push-up from Classical Hallway. He's proning through the barbed wire, and Joker is a hair's breadth away from finding a kill here as well. But Fury aren't going to push in through Aviator. Actually, Ippy Star wins that fight onto Warden near the Classical Hallway. And Joker, he sees that Claymore laser. He's waiting for Fury to peek because he does have Mangoes right around the corner. That Claymore goes down, and now Fury won't know when is Joker going to peek. Ippy Star gets taken out. but not finished off yet. Fury might not know.
I wonder where he got taken out there from. Was that from the drone hole, maybe?
I
From
don't
the
think.
rappel?
No, you can't repel. You can't shoot through the drone hole. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think he could. I don't know.
know
Maybe it
if
was
that's
from
angle.
the angle that Habana made?
Yeah, potentially.
Not too sure. Either way.
Looks like a rotate from Fury, though. They're not going to keep pushing Joker. I'm guessing that means they don't know that they downed It Be Style. And it's a full rotate. No doubt the player on red stairs heard that. You can see the crouch walk up through red. I think
It could catch him off guard. Cutie's not even looking that way at the moment. He did turn around, though. Gets concussed. They know that they're there, but he doesn't see him come to the top of the stairs. He loses the gunfight as It Be Style will be picked up. So it's a 4-on-3 now. 50 seconds left. Muesli gets another onto Joker for his team. Fury now will try and spearhead the site. Jack Daddy will try and rotate towards bedroom, but the door has been barricaded, leaving him in this open position on the stat bomb site. It Be Style is there to cover him, but he doesn't have much HP to do so.
30 seconds remain. It looks like Fury intend to push up these stairs and just refrag it out. Another flashbang through. They don't have a way to get into Master, and they find one, find two. It's all on Mangoes now. Muesli has stepped up hugely for the team. Now it's all on Mangoes. He still has a C4. He could use this to deny. Baits out some shots, but he takes out Golden. That's the diffuser player. All on Muesli. He's found two in this clutch so far, and he needs to find this third. But Mangoes is just going to hide. Muesli's going to round the corner and get the kill.
Wow.
A 3 versus 3 clutch where Muesli gets all 3 kills, and it comes down to a 1v1.
Muesli, a new member on this team, or relatively new. He came across from Power Plays not too long after they disbanded in the previous season, and
He wasn't able to play, though, during that season.
so he was on the team, I guess, in some aspect, but yeah, ineligible. Now he is eligible and hasn't had too bad of a series, actually.
And it looks like we might actually trade maps between these teams. Isn't that what we guessed?
I think
we both predicted that. Maybe not on broadcast, but we predicted that on CGG. And yeah, actually, which of us
So,
would be?
you know, go Fury, but we're not biased.
No, totally not biased. Well, I mean, it just looks likely at the moment. And imagine if we saw a 7-2 for Mindfreak, then a 7-2 reply from Fury. You know,
Interesting.
You know what would be tough about that is they would be even in head-to-head wins and head-to-head round count.
Then what does it go to?
I don't want to get this wrong. I'll check. I'll bring up the ESL page.
While you do that, I'll talk about the setup. So we are going to see AVG. No, it's not AVG. It's going to be stat attempted re again. So we have seen it successfully defended by Fury in the first half. They successfully defended that twice. We saw Mindfreak just attempt it then and unfortunately fell short. Muesli came up big for his team, and not too sure what Mindfreak need to do to try and change it up. They did waste a lot of time on the southern side of the map. Fury went for map control, then they switched it up. They rotated. Partly because It Be Style's status may not have been known. He was down. Maybe they didn't know that. Either way, the rotate was successful. Fury got the round, and it's up to them to try and replicate. It looks like they're setting up for a similar map take thus far.
Alright, since we do have a moment, it's early round. Fury's still on match point, but I'm going to go through the ties and the standings mini leagues. This is what it was last season. First up is head-to-head result. So if you win, it's a win and draw, then whoever won wins. So that's tied. If Fury win, that'll be tied. Mini league round difference, so that'll be tied if it's a 7-2. Overall round difference it'll go to. So the round difference of these teams against all the other teams, and that means that next week when Fury plays whoever they play and Mindfreak plays whoever they play, making sure that they win or lose without losing as many rounds as possible will make a huge difference.
Still though, that does bank on the fact that Fury have to win this round.
Otherwise, Mindfreak would win the head-to-head based on head-to-head round difference, yeah.
That would be correct. Looks like Muesli is going to try and attempt to open this wall as quickly as possible. Warden is there to assist with the EMPs, but Jack Daddy plays it perfectly.
No.
Juggles one, but the Habana fuse is too short and he can't redeploy it. That leaves an angle now exposing him and anyone playing over towards Stat. And there we go. Muesli gets the kill right on call. Doesn't get the second though. Jack Daddy rounds the corner, gets one, gets the second as well, but he got down in the process. Either way, A nice 2K living in a 3-on-3, but Joker is going to try and assist as Shade does drop Jack Daddy. Joker didn't come in time to try and protect him. Diffuser got dropped right when that C4 got blown. I think that might have been Shade actually getting down. Golden got Mangoes though. Gets taken out in the meantime. And now Rock is left in a 1-on-2 just like that.
What on earth was this round?
I don't know. It was exciting.
It was.
Lots was happening and explosions.
And this is still winnable for Rock. We've already seen a 1 versus 2 clutch from Muesli just the round prior. Rock needs to check this corner though. If he doesn't check the right corner, he's a dead man. He has tons of time. But Mindfreak also have that Valkyrie on the board. We don't know where those cameras are. Ippy Style, why are you peeking that? Because he's going to win it, I guess. And he wins that fight. And Mindfreak get up one more round, guaranteeing that they will, at worst, still win the head-to-head for round difference if these teams tie later on in the season.
Yeah, so that round may not have the biggest difference in how many points Mindfreak get necessarily from this matchup, but down the line,
what this means
could make a big difference.
Let's say, for example, that these teams are 6th and 7th on the standings, and they both have the same number of points. They both have 10 points. Whichever, so 6th and 7th is huge. It's a huge difference because if you're 7th, you go down to Challenge League. Mindfreak will win the tiebreaker, and they'll be in 6th. Fury will be in 7th. And that's a
or
huge
if they're
difference.
2nd and 3rd, Dev. I mean, don't.
Or if they're 2nd and 3rd, or yeah.
It'll determine who goes to the APAC final.
Yeah, that's very true.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as
So
many bombs as they can.
it is early in the season. We don't really have a good indication yet of whether these teams are fighting to stay out of relegation, fighting to stay to get to LAN, or whether they're just going to end up middle of the pack. And I think anything is possible for these teams because last season, Mindfreak was actually right up and keeping up to pace with some of the other top teams that were in contend for LAN. And Fury last season were near the bottom, fighting to stay out of Challenger League. Only just barely did on the last play day.
I had to laugh there a little bit. Cutie was trying to place 3 shields inside of B to delay this entry. If I was him, I'd consider placing that 3rd shield maybe on the entry door to the left of the screen and force them not only to vault in, but also allow for them to shoot it and waste 10 seconds if required. Cutie though is going to elect to place it on the games door. It's still pretty powerful because it forces you to jump in.
Yeah, but interesting thing there, it does provide some cover for anyone peeking an angle. And I know as soon as someone tries to use a glow shield as cover, you can just shoot the canister, but they can just shoot you if they're already peeking the angle. They have an ACOG, so it will help out any attacker peeking up the classical hallway looking into vault. Nonetheless, Shade's going to take out some cameras, check for vault cams. He's being very thorough here. I like that. He's also not going to just blindly walk around that corner without having his primary out. And he's going to continue looking for vault cams, showing that they're not going to get C4'd from below. He's only seen default cams. He actually does spot something there. Might be a Valkyrie camera. It's in the hallway. Oh, I hope 90's clear. It is clear. He's taking out 2 cameras in a second once he gets to the second one. Nice air jab placement. So a lot of info denied. Oh, okay, that second vault cam's actually in sight, so Shade won't be able to shoot that until he walks in.
Jack Daddy trying to use those Goyo shields as best as he can. Rock getting lit up from somewhere. What? Mangoes and Ippy Style both get 1. Okay, that's an interesting start to the round and leaves Fury at a 3 to 5 man deficit. Ippy Style's playing the top of the main stairs. Shade gets 1 back, so Jack Daddy is off the board. We saw him not long ago playing a safe position inside of sight, but he's deleted from the top of red. Shade does have the diffuser in hand. A flank, was that a flank coming out there from the Valkyrie? I'm not too sure, but that could be very dangerous.
Oh.
Talk about dangerous. Cutie gets the 1 tap onto Shade. Could well get another one, just misses it. He's trying to get it though. Muesli will drop Ippy Style, and the round is still winnable for Fury if Rock can get this kill. Doesn't quite nail it yet as he tries to peek in towards Vault. He doesn't hit it on the second occasion either. He's now rotated all the way towards Study, but he needs to be mindful to his left. There is a player at the top of the southern stairs. If he gets flanked from behind, this could be dangerous. Muesli is covering that position though. Maybe it was Muesli that I mistook for a defender.
Yeah, maybe. This is going to open up an angle into the bomb site. It'll expose the position that Cade was playing. Sorry, the Goyo was playing. That weaponry always gets me. Oh, going to peek out the corner, but Rock finds that kill. That's so essential. Unnecessary aggression from Mindfreak. But Mangoes is downstairs now, and he has a C4. That said, there's still plenty of time for Fury. If they can overwhelm this bomb site, they might be able to get the diffuser down. This could be perfect for Muesli, but if B-Style finds that kill, Rock's just going to plant. I don't think Joker knows anything about it. That diffuser goes down. It's a 1 versus 2 for Rock. 1v1. All up to Mangoes to save this game for Mindfreak.
He gets this kill. They will win the map, and the peak is about to come out from the Valkyrie. Rock is going to try and get the frag, and he will be successful. Mangoes is dropped off the board. And Fury, out of nowhere, really, will take that map, despite a disappointing map number 1, leaving it as a 1 map each result in the end.
A great job from Fury, and I think they definitely earned the victory on that map. Mindfreak did not punish their playstyle at all, especially on that defense. Look, it was a lot more of a struggle on their attacking side, but it only took them 4 rounds in order to get the 2 that they needed. A big game from Style, so I feel bad that we were kind of talking about him a bit earlier and about how he'd had a few opening deaths. But hey, tough love, I guess. And look, if we talk about Style in that game, he was 5-1 on the entries. So not only did he top frag with 11 kills for his team, he was 5-1 on the entries. A really good job fulfilling his role as an entry player.
I guess on that second map on Villa, if I tracked it correctly, there was only actually 1 plant in the very first round, which just proves the point that... Pardon?
Plus the last round.
Yeah. So that proves that Villa is a really tough map to push, and it really came down to which team was able to just get those critical rounds on that attacking half.
Yeah. I think it can be hard to plant because it's a really big map, and we saw how much roaming, especially from Shade when Fury were defending, it delays so much time. And then even if you do get to the position where you've cleared out the roamers, you're starting your plant and you're covering your planter, there are a lot of ways you can kill the planter because all the floor is destructible on most of the bomb sites. So there's a lot of ways from below that the defenders can deny plant. We saw that. I think it was Shade as well, denying the vault door plant in one of the early half.
From below?
Yeah, from the below, vertically. Yeah, so it was good. I'm happy that we got some Villa. We were kind of worried that we were going to get double Consulate. Look, I'm glad Fury didn't go there for obvious reasons, but it goes to show there's a reason why Mindfreak's been banning this map.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't click that the same way that Consulate was such a smooth map for them. Because on the first map, the few rounds that Fury won were off the back of very strong individual performances, whereas the majority of the wins for Mindfreak were convincing team performances. And then you can basically just flip around what I just said and apply that to the second map, where Mindfreak only won 3 rounds, and all of those were pretty iffy, and Fury just dominated for the most of the map. Yes, it sort of slipped away a little bit in that second half, but as to be expected on the attack, and look, they recovered it in the end off the back of 1, the Muesli clutch, and then 2nd Rock coming up big.
Yeah, so Mindfreak and Fury, let's start with, say, Mindfreak. Last season, they ended up 4th. Before that, previous seasons, they were kind of in that 3rd spot, and once upon a time, they were at the top. What is it that Mindfreak, what is it that we think moving into the rest of the season Mindfreak need to do to kind of stay in there, and where do we project that they'll be for the rest of the season?
Consistency and probably deepening their map pool will help them out. If they have a couple of really weak maps, that's only going to hinder them as the weeks progress and auto bans start to come in and teams sort of figure out exactly who they want to target with their picks. In terms of projecting where I think they're going to end up, I think before the season started, I sort of projected them to finish mid-tier, Mindfreak being that, if I can bring it up. I actually said about 6th to 7th, so close to relegation. After today's performance, if they can play like they did on Consulate, I mean, you'd definitely say probably 3rd, 4th, 5th. But again, with only 1 map being won by each team, it's hard to say. And I think it's going to take a while before not only these 2 teams, but the teams in the entire region to sort of fill in where they actually are. Especially
because we don't have a lot of context of these teams against other teams in the Pro League so far. It's been such a quiet season, especially because both of these teams, they did Season 10 Pro League, they didn't go to APAC finals, they didn't go to Global finals, they didn't go to Challenger League. There's been nothing except the 6 Invitational qualifier. Both of these teams played through that. They played each other, but that's all we have to go off for months of Rainbow Six famine for these teams, where they've just been practicing and working out their roster changes.
And I guess the funny thing about going off those 6 Invitational, like the online qualifier stage, is that maybe it's not that accurate, because Mindfreak lost pretty convincingly 0-2 against Fury. It was 4-7 Cafe, 3-7 Bank, so neither of those were close. Yet we just saw them trade a map. So
Yeah, well, we'll get an idea as the season progresses, but let's find out some more info here when we chat to Golden from Fury. Hey, Golden, mate. Welcome back to the Pro League. I hope you've had a good debut in Season 11. How are you feeling after that game?
Feeling pretty good after the second map. The first map didn't go quite as we expected. I think we were more hoping so, like, the results we got at, like, MEO against Sinister, but it just didn't work out in our favor.
Well, you just mentioned there that the first map didn't really go your way. You have a short break between the maps. As a team, sort of how do you reset your mindset? Because you seem to be very different in map number 2. What did you take during the 5-minute break? Did you sort of knuckle down any issues that you could transfer over to Villa?
We sort of just had a look at ourselves and we're just peaking way too much. We're just over-aggressing, and it was just costing us way too many rounds. Like, those bits where we were pushing, where we didn't have to, and we kind of just had to slow down on that. And that's sort of what helped us win that one.
Since you guys have had a bit of time now to adjust to your roster changes, I know you're still on the roster. I think at one point you were going to be sub. What kind of happened there, and how are you going with the new roster and how you fit it in? I believe you also have a new coach.
Yeah, so recently Flex decided he didn't really want to keep playing the game anymore. He wanted to pursue things in life. Good on him, but so we've had to go from all the strats made for him, me into them, and that's what's getting a bit tough here. And we've also got Yahtzee, is more of like an analyst. He's very good at just finding all the data we can use just in order to prep for teams.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I just want to say good luck next week and for the rest of Season 11. I hope you guys come out swinging. I'm sure you guys will. Thanks.
Thank you. Cheers.
That was nice. I didn't expect it to be
Has there been an interview this entire season where we haven't gone, that's nice?
That's, yeah. Everything
Big
is
cliche. But it is, it's true.
It is, yeah, but everything is so wholesome. Yeah, one thing that a lot of people probably don't know about the ANZ region is how much the esports scene as a whole doesn't have as much opportunity in terms of full-time work.
Yep.
So overseas in North America, EU, pretty much all the Pro League teams get paid a full-time salary and they can focus on just playing this. Almost all of our ANZ Pro League teams have full-time work, full-time uni, or part-time work, part-time uni. And it makes it very difficult to juggle the game. And I think that's why everyone respects everyone else for the hard work that they do put in.
And I guess maybe that's part of the reason that Flex, as Golden mentioned, just felt like he didn't want to play the game anymore. And I guess that's understandable when things start to get tough. If you're not getting that financial support, I mean, that starts to compound.
And we have seen examples of teams that grind through, like, for example, Wildcard. They were orgless for about 9 months. They didn't get any support. They didn't have any promotion on Twitter or anything. No money, no peripherals or boot camps. Just themselves, just those 6-7 people. And they managed to do so well that they came second APAC finals and then almost beat Na'Vi. And they did so well that they got an org pickup as well.
Mm. I don't know. What's the future looking like for Fury, though? Because, as I mentioned earlier, it's really hard to measure where they stand at the moment. Do you feel as if they're on the down, on the up, or in between?
It's so difficult. I will say, if they had lost both of those, I'd be a bit worried. But the fact that they managed to come back on the second one, I think maybe Consulate was a bit more of a map pool issue. And hopefully they can rework that and expand the map pool. But we've got Mindfreak on the line. It's Itby Style, ready to entry frag this interview. Hey, Style, man. Well played today. You popped off on Villa, so yeah, mate, how you feeling?
Oh, yeah, no. Map 1 really good. Map 2 not so good.
Yeah, well, it happens.
I feel alright with my performance for the most part, but obviously we lost, so it is what it is.
I guess let's take a step back. You guys obviously had some roster changes over the off-season. As a team, how have you guys sort of approached the preparation going into this season? How much had to change? Because obviously I'm sure your new players would have brought stuff in, your old players would have left stuff up in the air. How have you guys approached that, and how are you feeling already?
So, after like coming to the end of the year, we all had like a bit of a fairly long break, like individually from the game in general, just doing like your basic family stuff as you do over the holidays. So we did like the invitational quals coming into that with Joker, who, as you can see on when we play Consulate, is really, really capable in his abilities, but just not having that long-term practice that we've needed during that break coming into the start of Pro League, which we probably should have had. It's affected us, obviously, as you can see on Villa.
So I guess going into the rest of the season, last guys you placed 4th, and you had a really good showing as well. Up until the last play day, you guys were up there in terms of points with the other teams competing for the spots at APAC lands. Where are you kind of tracking for this season?
You know, hopefully top 2. That's what everyone wants to be, isn't it?
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for the at least top 3. That is what we're high hopes for.
Perfect. And you think that's achievable?
Yeah. Obviously, as you can see, Consulate was our most practiced map that we've had. Villa was our least over the short time that we've had.
Perfect. Yeah, well, I think the new roster is looking fantastic, and I'm really excited to see you guys as you progress for the rest of the season. I'm sure you got a lot of surprises for us. Well played tonight, and thanks.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, nice. And it was interesting that I didn't know the stuff about Joker and how they feel like he's a super capable player. He's so good. He popped off on Consulate, but it does take quite a lot of time to fit in